All right, we promised it, and here it is, the update from the Empire, the Coaches Show, head coach Tom Menas, Jeff Levack. My new title I've decided is the Ambassador of Awesome. So, be ready for that. I knew Coach, I knew you'd like that one. I knew you'd approve. And well, you don't like my new title?
I love it. Yeah, right. You can call yourself whatever you want.
Just don't call me late for dinner. Right. All right. So the schedule is out. We said we would do this. We've done it. We've had a little time. You've had time to go over the schedule. Mm-hmm. I've just kind of looked at the home games primarily for myself because those are the ones I know that our season ticket holders are most into. But as you've been known to do, you are a prep monster. You're a research monster. You've gone through the entire schedule for the entire league already and broken it down.
I'd like to know while we're playing, who else is playing, what could be at stake, how difficult of a game it's going to be for an opponent that maybe we have on our radar. I like looking at who has to travel the furthest that week, if we're going to be playing them in the not too distant future. Just any advantage that you can get by doing your due diligence. Coach Ware and I always say that, if we overly prepare, then that's one less thing to worry about down the road. So, yeah, I've been into this thing now for about 10 hours. So, yeah.
This is out of the door. Tom, are you in there? Tom, did you leave? Yeah. Come out.
She just pops her head in. She goes, still? And I go, yep.
All right, so let's without further ado, now that again the schedule is official, it is out. I know there were some typos on some different sites, so to be clear, this is the official schedule, the one that you will hear Coach and I speak about right here.
Right.
I'm live in the Tech East studios. He's live in the hidden secluded lair in Michigan, and right. This is the official schedule. So if you comment, I thought the game was, I'm going to say something mean to you, just so we're clear.
Yeah, and I actually called the commissioner this morning, and to the best of everyone's knowledge, let me put that little disclaimer at the bottom, right? This is the schedule, okay? Now I know that our schedule. I spoke to our president today, Matt Woods. And he's assured me that our schedule that is posted currently on our webpage is 100% accurate. So that's the one I printed off. I printed off the league's one, but again, with the disclaimer that if a date might have changed for another team, this is what I have as of right now. Okay. So right. This is what I'm working off of.
Perfect.
But, so what I'd like to do is, and I think our fans, because I believe our fans are of such high football IQ and they understand the importance of the whole body of work, not just our home games, right, is that we go over every game that's going to be played this year. And if anything has a special ramification, or if it could be an interesting game to circle on your calendar to watch on YouTube or attend, I think we should talk about those too.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. I agree. Every one of these games is going to matter at some point. And it is interesting the way the schedule is built, because remember, there were supposed to be 8 teams. So to get everybody to that level of 14 games, 7 away, 7 home plus playoffs, there are 3 bye weeks. And we start this season on a bye week, which I kind of like the idea of, for me, and you can tell me if I'm absolutely insane on this one, Coach, I feel like it's everyone auditioning for our attention.
That's one way of looking at it. I mean, I like the bye week so we can scout. Because if we jump right into it, putting on my extra eyes, but if we jump right into it, and that first bye week, which would be April 8th, which was the official week 1 of the NAL this year, think about this from a scouting standpoint for us, okay? We're sitting at home. We're watching these games. we're breaking these games down. And while we're continuing to prepare, we get to watch the Mustangs, which is Fayetteville, versus the Predators. So that game's interesting because, Predators want to get better than what they did, obviously, last year. They want to move themselves up. Mustangs haven't done anything yet. Okay. They're a startup that we're going to see if they were able to do everything they needed to do before the first game. So that game's kind of like, for Orlando, it's to see if what they've done's worked.
Right.
And for the Mustangs, it's to see,
Did we plan our entrance?
Yeah. I don't want to say that we bite off more than we can chew, but,
to quote Tyson, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Right.
Like, you're going to get punched in the face, and how do you react? Because it's week 1 in the NAL for you.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%. So, and then we got the Cobras at the Gunslingers. Okay, so your favorite team, San Antonio, that you promote constantly, that won 4 games last year, is playing the Cobras. Okay, Coach Fuller against Coach Shaw. Okay, that's going to be a good game. That's in Freeman Coliseum. So the Cobras are the first to get to enjoy that road trip to San Antonio. Best of luck. Okay. then the Sharks are playing the Warbirds. Okay, so I think the Sharks are a really good football team this year, based on roster as of right now. And I got an opportunity to talk to the head coach yesterday for the Warbirds. Great guy, Coach Tate. Really enjoyed speaking with him. Just called him up to introduce myself, and they got their hands full in week 1 with Jacksonville. Now, again, they're playing down there at that place they call the Hangar, I guess, what it's called. So we'll see how Jacksonville travels for that.
Well, it's an interesting game, too, because the Warbirds are an undefeated team. Now, this is the coach that coached them before they came to the NAL. He's still the coach?
Yes.
So this one, the only reason I don't love this game is, I had a nice, loving relationship with the Warbirds owners from the beginning. I really want to be the first one to have a shot at beating them in the NAL. I wanted them to start 0-1 because they played the Empire.
Well, look at it this way, too. Sharks could come in thinking this is an easy W, and I don't think Coach Gibson will have them prepared like that. I think he'll have them prepared to go and put an ass whooping on the Warbirds, and I think the Warbirds are going to take offense to that and give them a good game. What's the little barometer on this game? It's travel to Odessa, right? That's a biatch, right? That's not something that's going to be fun. So we'll see how they handle it. Okay. Then we get out of our bye week and we start our second week of the league. We got the Warbirds versus the Cobras. So you got the poor Warbirds going from playing Jacksonville to playing,
Welcome to the league, guys. Welcome.
Yeah, going to be to Carolina. Yeah, that's going to be a good game. And then you have the Gunslingers, your Gunslingers versus the Sharks. Okay, again,
keep it up, old man. You keep it up.
Someone's going to be 0-2 and 2-0. That's all I'm saying. Okay, and then you have us at home on Sunday, April 16th, against the Orlando Predators, coming to our house, which I'm looking forward to beating Coach Herky Walls' butt at home.
So, you guys kind of hit it off at the meetings.
I love him. Yeah, I love him to death. Yeah, I think he's a great guy, and I can see Herky and I being friends forever. So yeah, just a really good guy. And the thing about that is a lot is going to depend for the Predators on how they handle the Mustangs on their first game. Okay.
It's an interesting. I mean, they've got good wide receivers. They've got Prince Shinola and Lonnie Outlaw, so they're gonna have player makers. Can they get the ball to them? It'll be interesting to see how that works.
We're gonna have the same conversation.
I'm just saying those are names that we all know. Those are guys we know.
Yeah, those are guys we know.
Lonnie Outlaw's had some good games at the MVP. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he has. It's a shame that streak's going to end. Okay, then we go to the week 2, right? And week 2, we have the Gunslingers at home, which will be, I'm sure, a very how can we put this? Energetic game. Oh, I want to go back to our opener. We're dropping the banner at halftime.
Correct.
We're doing a giveaway. We got all this cool stuff happening. You don't want to miss that.
And that's a Sunday game too. That week.
It's a Sunday game, so
get the family out, have some fun.
Good Lord, man, why wouldn't you want to come to something like that? That's going to be a blast. Then we got week 2. Sorry, I started with us, but I'll go back. And we got Jacksonville playing the Mustangs. Okay. Let's see. Prediction, bloodbath. Okay. Next, we got Gunslingers versus the Empire. Looking forward to that game, very much so. Get to be around some people I know on the other side, and it should be fun. I'm sure.
You got a lot of former Empire guys. You got Jay Rich is one of the coaching staff.
Yep.
Calvin Fance, our buddy Pudge. Hobbs is over there. Phil Barnett, who we know watches the show. Hey, Phil, I know you're watching. Lil Hopper. So it's a little bit of a reunion. That's an Empire reunion.
It'd just be good to see the guys.
Yep.
And then put them on the plane angry. Okay. Week 3. We start out with, we got the Predators versus the Sharks. That's
week 4 of the NAL schedule, week 3 for our third week. Yeah.
Right. I just call them by our games.
Okay.
So yeah, but you're right. Correct. You got Predators versus Sharks at Jacksonville. We'll see. It's going to be an in-state rivalry type game. Anything can happen on those. This is an interesting one. You got Mustangs versus Warbirds.
Right.
That's like your two sisters fighting.
Are you calling this a pillow fight? Are you calling this a pillow fight?
No, all I'm saying is fun to watch, but no one really cares. All right. I'm just joking. All right. Then you got us playing.
The Top Gunner's going to do a whole video on you at some point.
Then you got the Empire versus the Cobras at Greensboro Coliseum, another mecca of a place to play. All right.
I can guarantee everyone will have their rings nice and polished up for that game.
Yeah, they will. Wear multiple rings, some guys. Yeah. So then we go to week 5, and that's our 4th game. And we have the Gunslingers versus the Mustangs. That's kind of a similar thing. Now you got San Antonio having the travel to Fayetteville. So we'll see how they handle that.
That's interesting too, because like San Antonio, Phil Barnett, everybody, and I've been trying to say they're a better team than people think they are. That's a game you have to win if you are a better team than you were last year. You have to win that game.
You not only have to win that game, because that W is going to be critical you making the playoffs this year.
Right.
It's going to be one of those, if you give that game away and you don't get in the playoffs by one game, you'll look back at that game as one we should have had. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then we have the Warbirds at home. That's the one where you get to have all your fun with the owners,
with Top Gunner and all those guys. Well, and that's finally the reverse of what we usually deal with, where it's one of those like, man, Albany travels so far, they go all these places. Okay, hey Odessa, welcome to the Capital Region. Come on in. We'll see you when you get here. You better not wagon train it, kids.
Well, we play them on Saturday at 7. We'll see them probably Saturday at 4. Okay. Yeah. And then we go into week 6. It's an interesting week because we have a bye and there's only one game being played that weekend.
Yep.
And that game is between Orlando and Carolina. So again, this is a must win for Orlando if they want a shot for the playoffs. And the Cobras need to establish their dominance with, I don't want to call them tier 2 teams, but teams that haven't done as well. So they definitely have to get that win at home. And then we come off that bye into week 7. Okay. Week 7, we got the Cobras versus the Mustangs at Fayetteville. Bloodbath. Then we have the Gunslingers versus the Warbirds. This is one that you were talking about, though. This is an in-state rivalry.
Yep.
It'll be a really fun game. It'd be a tough game to call, too, because you know how the emotions will be in in-state rivalry. Should have a packed house. Should, a lot of good things with this.
And there's a little chippiness between them already. Like you can kind of feel it when you get the ownership groups or the coaches or whatever. If you hear them talking to each other, it's a little bit of like, hey, this is my state. No, this is my state. So
Yeah.
it'll be fun. That should be a fun game to watch.
I would love to hear those two argue who has the best arena. Mine's less garbage than yours is. Okay. Anyway, then we have.
I lost contact. I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah. Our 5th game, we traveled down to Jacksonville. This is a circle game. I think on everyone's schedule for the year, it would be us versus Jacksonville.
Coach Hal, but they have a horse. They both have. I'm sure there's plenty of horses down there. So,
well, don't they both aren't both their colors red, white, and blue?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be. Who cares? Okay. Then you got us versus the Sharks. That's going to be a big game on that Saturday night. There in Jacksonville. So then we go into it would be week 8.
Yep.
Week 8, you got the Warbirds versus the Predators. Again, Orlando's hosting. They want to be in it. You got to win these games. Warbirds want to be in it to establish themselves. Hey, and look at it this way. Think about it. If Coach Tate wins 4 games, he's a shoo-in for Coach of the Year. So he's got something to shoot for. Okay, then you got.
Can I just say something? So
What?
I think Coach Herky Walls looks at football similar to the way you do. Maybe not schematically, but like you guys, I think you guys relate pretty well. If you were in Herky Walls' shoes, first year as the coach of the Predators, knowing that you're in the not a rebuild, but you're trying to get to that next level. This is a circle game for you because again, you have to win this game to prove you've improved the team, right?
100%. And Herky will have him ready. He'll have him ready, no doubt about it. Okay, and then you got the Sharks versus the Gunslingers in San Antonio. Okay, so that's an interesting Sunday game. We'll all get to watch it. It'll be good. And then us, and it'll be our 6th game. We have the Fayetteville Mustangs coming to Albany for a bloodbath on Saturday, May 27th. Okay.
Dunnings has made some jokes at my expense, so I'm looking forward to that game.
Who is?
Coach Dunnings has made some when we were at the ownership and coaches and GMs meetings. He had some funny things to say about your favorite on-field MC. So I look forward to him not enjoying being on that field.
They sure do talk a lot. Anyway, we got then week 9. Okay, we have a bye on week 9. Okay, so
it's a good spot to have one, right? You've played a bunch of games, you traveled a bit.
I wish it was a little later.
Okay,
but it's okay. But in week 9, Mustangs versus Cobras at Cobras. Sharks versus Warbirds at Warbirds. Travel and injuries would be their only hope, I think. So then you got Predators versus Gunslingers at San Antonio. That's a biggie. San Antonio can't lose it, and Orlando's got to win it. It's one of those. We have a bye. Then we get into week 10 at this point. Now, by the way, that's our last bye for the year. So then we go at it the rest of the way. Week 10, we have the Mustangs versus the Sharks at Jacksonville. Not going to be pretty. And we have the Warbirds versus the Cobras versus the Warbirds at Odessa. Now, I'm calling an upset on that game.
Really?
Yeah, I think the Warbirds win that one.
Okay, so week 10, Warbirds pull the upset of the season thus far, unless they've already shocked us.
I think they'll have some win. They might have a one or two other wins in here, but I think that one, I think they're going to be super. They'll have figured it out by then.
There's definitely familiar faces in West Texas. You got Sean Lockett, who's on the roster, Patrick Macon. We're all big fans of Kerry Starks in this area. He's on there. There's names you know.
But I just think they're, for whatever reason, that they're going to have an exceptional game. And then we play Orlando in Orlando. That's Friday night on June 9th.
That's always one of my favorite games. I just feel like because of the relationship that we have with the organization, it's got like, honestly, I think it's one they circle in their calendar. At least last year, they definitely did. Like when we go to their house, they play their best game of the year.
Okay. Week 11, we have the Cobras versus the Predators in Orlando. Depending on how Orlando's hanging in there for the season, that could be a really good game too. Then you have the Warbirds versus the Gunslingers, again, in-state rivalry in San Antonio. Okay. And then we play Jacksonville at home, June 17th. That's a big, big game right there. Big. June 17th. Okay, the 12th week of the season, Cobras got the Sharks in Jacksonville. That's going to be a hell of a football game right there.
Those are the other top tier teams based on paper,
based on roster.
Not playing.
That's all we're doing right now is we're just looking roster. Okay. And experience, roster, coaches, experience, things like that. Like not taking anything away from Coach Gunnings in Fayetteville, but first year teams, West Texas, first year team, San Antonio, first. Oh, never mind. Anyway.
When I brought up Kerry Starks, Coach Halbut, he's scared of Haig. Isn't everyone scared of Nick Haig?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Week 12.
Yep.
Got Cobras and Sharks. Great game. Warbirds and Mustangs. Who cares? And then you got us versus the Gunslingers in San Antonio. That's our 9th game. Okay, that's a game I really want us to put an ass whooping on them. And we will travel smarter, and we will do things, and we will not let them change schedules and do all the stuff they do down there with that damn horse in the truck. The pickup truck is what gets you because they come out every time out.
Every single time out.
Yeah, and they, and I'm sitting there trying to talk to the team, and I'm feeling a brush up against my leg, and it's a pickup truck pulling out. And then when he goes in, then you got a horse looking at you with a cowboy holding a gun.
The problem that we had is the internet in that building is suspect, we'll say. So we didn't get to see that. We just saw a spinning wheel go on the TVs up here as we did a watch party.
No.
It was. And then if you looked in the comments on the YouTube broadcast, it was a lot of like, is that horse powering the Wi-Fi? I really would love to watch this game. Like it didn't work out well for us.
That's the game where Wade went over the wall and caught the ball.
Yes.
And I went running on the field to look, and he's holding on to the ball, and then the kid knocks the ball out of his hand after about 5-6 seconds, right?
Yep.
Ref goes, no catch. And I throw a challenge flag. And they said, nope, we're calling the field stands. And I asked the guy after the game, he goes, oh, we don't have those angles. We're lucky we got film, right? So it's a tough place to play because of, like I said, location, the arena, the way it's set up, no end zone, no end zone wall, things like that. It's just in the refs. Good God. Okay.
Well, that was the week that actually, it sucks that we had to lose for it to happen, but that week inspired changes in the referees protocols and everything else. At least,
Correct.
yeah.
Right.
So we took one for the league on that one. It's the way I'll choose to look at it.
Man, it was nuts. Okay.
From what we could see, again, spinning wheel is what we got most of it. So
right. So week 13, we have the Warbirds going to Carolina. We've got the Gunslingers going to the Predators. Good game. That's gonna be a good game because that's one of those who doesn't want to be in that bottom tier, who wants to be in that middle tier with the shot. That's that game.
The fight. I'd like to call that, and this might be you rubbing off of me. The fight for fourth.
Yeah, or fifth.
Well, so you're still at that point. You're still hoping for postseason one way or another, right?
Right.
So fight for fourth.
Okay, and then you got then you have the.
I finally say something mean about other teams, and it's not mean enough for you. Come on.
No, it's good. I love when you do that. You come to the dark side. It's not that, and I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. I'm just saying, I guarantee you, coaches are sitting in their offices doing the same shit we're doing.
Oh yeah.
Right? Well, we're just doing it out loud.
Listen, my years of radio training, you got to have, we can't just both sit here and cackle and be evil. So if you're going to be the honest one, I have to kind of lean and point out some other things.
My honesty is only based on my opinion.
Oh, no.
Okay,
I understand.
Right. So I'm making it clear to everybody and all the other coaches, all the other teams, all the other players. I'm sure they're just thinking the exact same way for their benefit. Okay. But I'm simply saying, based on my experience and knowing these teams the way I do, and some I don't know, Warbirds could come out and go 14-0 for all I know. Right?
EJ gets me. It's good cop, bad cop. I just, this is where I am.
I don't want to be a bad cop, though. No, I'm just kidding.
Everybody's got to play the hand they're dealt. I don't want to be the good cop, but here we are. We should do that one day. We should plan it out
like before.
Yeah, where you're just like, I really think that so and so's gonna have a great year, and I'm like, come on, you think he's gonna get a catch against Hollis Islands? What's wrong with you?
All right, good. I like that. We're gonna do that too. So
that's me when I go on other shows. I do that.
Right. Well, and then I mentioned is we got the Mustangs in our 10th game coming to the Empire on Saturday, July 1st. Okay.
Yep.
Then on the 14th week, we've got the Cobras versus the Mustangs in Fayetteville. It's kind of a close enough rivalry thing going there. Never know. Sharks versus Predators. Sharks got to win it to keep their third or second place, right, at that point. And Orlando's got to win it if they want a shot at the fourth shot.
It's interesting because it's like it's got a little regional rivalry to both those games.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's an in-state rivalry. It's fun. A lot of crossover. Guys from Jacksonville going to. I mean, it's only 45 minutes away. Hour.
Yeah, right.
You're going to have fans. I would think, depending on how you're doing.
That Mustangs Cobra game, though, Coach. Like if you're the guy bringing the Mustangs into the league, are the Cobras the first one? You're like, listen, I don't know that I'm going to have the title this year based on getting everything running, but if I'm going to do one thing, I want to own my state first. Is that your first target, the Cobras, because they're in your state?
Oh, you mean for the Mustangs?
Yeah.
To own the state, even if you're in the bottom.
Right. If you win 2 games, you want to make sure those 2 games are against the guy across the hall.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
I'm speaking of goals, not necessarily reality.
Come on, man, Coach Fuller, he's the real deal. He's gonna.
Oh, I believe it. I'm just thinking if I'm Coach Dunnings, what's and I build a checklist. If Coach Menas is instructing Coach Dunnings on his checklist, is the first item on that checklist own your state?
No.
No.
The first, if you're an expansion team, my goal in 2021 was obviously to win it all, right?
Right.
But let's be real. We were here 2 weeks before the season started too. So my number one, our goals this year are win every game, finish the season in first place, and then ultimately go to the championship and win the championship or host the championship, right?
Right.
If you're a first-year coach, your number one goal should be win all your home games.
Okay.
Because then you got 7 wins. Win all your home games. That should be your number one goal.
And then you're another
And then your
goofy
number
bouncer
two
to away
goal.
from being in the playoffs.
Now think about this though. Win all your home games and split your road games.
And you're in the playoffs.
You're in the playoffs. You at least got an opportunity, right?
Sweet.
So I think that is a more realistic goal for the Warbirds and the Mustangs is try to win all your home games and try to split on the road. And if you can do that, man, you get much respect from me because that's a hard-ass thing to do. But yeah. Okay. We're week 15.
We got to do. We didn't do the. We got to go to Warbirds.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we go to Warbirds. That's our trip to Odessa. Looking forward to that. I told Coach Tate when he comes in town, I'll buy him a steak, and when I go out there, he'll buy me a steak. So it's all good.
Saturday Night Lights on that one. That's going to be fun.
Saturday night, it'll be fun. Hope no fights break out. Okay. Then we have. Pardon me.
BYOC. Bring your own chair.
Bring your own chair. Yep.
Sorry, guys.
He knows I'm kidding. Okay, then week 15.
You got Predators at Mustangs.
Predators at Mustangs, right? July 15th. Again, Orlando's got to win. Yeah. And again, if we say what we just said, Fayetteville's got to win their home games. So it's going to be a good game.
So technically, it must win for both teams, regardless of records. You know, do you want to keep that other team being the rookie doormat, or do you want to prove that you belong?
Right. And then we have us going to the Sharks, I think, again, right? That's the second time?
I believe so. I have to pull it up.
Yeah, going to Jacksonville. Big game with only 3 left. That's a big game. That's a big one. That could determine, to be honest with you, 1 and 2 right there, I think. And then we got the Gunslingers versus the Cobras at Carolina. Carolina's got to win. And if Gunslingers have a shot of being much better this year, that's a must win for them. Then we go into week 16. Where we have the Mustangs versus the Gunslingers. I think probably the Mustangs will be out of it by then. Gunslingers have to win that at home to secure a playoff. Warbirds versus Sharks. Ooh, that's not going to be pretty. And then we have a great game, Carolina and us on Saturday, July 22nd at 7 at MVP. That's our 13th game of the year. And then we finish the regular season. Predators versus the Warbirds. Again, Warbirds got to win their home games. Orlando's got to learn how to win on the road. They have to. They have to win that game. Big game. This is what I think determines 2 or 3 in the standings. Jacksonville versus Carolina in Carolina. I think the winner of that game will be 2, and the loser of that game will be 3. And then we play the Mustangs in Fayetteville.
Next.
If we don't have it figured out by then, we're probably not going to even be in it. So, yeah, I think we'll be okay on those games.
So, Coach, I'm going to pull up our schedule on the screen right now, just our actual schedule. But the season is presented by our friends at TransFinder Field, MVP Arena. As we look at it, you know, home, obviously, you know, this is what we're looking at when we talk about season tickets. You know, these are the matchups that you're going to get to see. We're hosting Orlando. We start the season off at home with them, and it's a Sunday family fun day kind of deal. But also, as you mentioned, Coach, we're dropping the banner. So I think that's when you got to circle on your personal calendars to be at. You need to be at that game,
right? And you better be at that game. Good Lord, man. If you don't come for the banner drop, then what's the point of all this, right? If you call yourself a fan, then you want to be a part of that, and part of all those, what did we say in our Zoom call this week? Share your success and own your failures. Okay.
Yep.
So share our success. That's why we're doing it. That's why Mike's spending the money that he's doing. And the Sunday night game makes it the national game of the year. Everybody will be watching that, from guys in the IFL to, everybody around the country will be watching that game. So it's a biggie. The following week, though, I want to add something. That's the April 22nd game.
Yeah.
Okay. So that weekend, well, within days, the next day is our the GOAT's birthday.
Oh.
On the 23rd, and mine's the 24th. So last year we didn't have a good birthday weekend. This year we want to have a really good birthday weekend. So come out and help us celebrate our birthdays with a win.
I like that. I like it against my team, the Gunslingers.
So, yeah, your guys. Yeah, the guys you like.
Well, honest. All right, let's talk about the Gunslingers real quick. Fred Shaw, you got Jay Rich. Can we, like, Jay Rich? He's used to be on the field at MVP Arena. Are we sure he won't be? And then you got Jonathan Bain, you got Calvin Fantz, you got Arthur Hobbs, Phil Barnett. I think they're a very talented team. All right, good talk.
I mean, it's hard to say anything bad about. First of all, I love Jay Rich. He's, he's like a son to me. I care deeply about him. Calvin Fantz. Calvin's a guy, comes in, does a job. You barely know he's there. He just works hard and does everything you ask him to do. You got Hobbs, who's probably the quintessential definition of a professional athlete. Went through some struggles with us, but then, anytime I looked, he was training, working, doing everything he could. First guy in meetings, quintessential pro. I wish him the absolute best. And Bain scored 7 points in 3.5 quarters against us last time we played him. I'm not worried about Bain.
I'm not, it's just good to see these guys. Not him, because I like him as a person, but
yeah. Like Phil Barnett, great guy. He asked me to bring him the membership form for AARP. And I told him I'd bring it out to him so he could join now that he's eligible. But yeah, just no.
All right, so that's your birth. So as your birthday, that one, hopefully we get the W.
More importantly, Darius's birthday.
Right. Okay. Our next home game is going to be May 6th. That's when the Warbirds come to town. You mentioned Coach
Coach Tate
Smith over there. But there's now, for everybody who's getting your season tickets together, there's some familiar faces on that roster. Sean Lockett is there. We've got Patrick Macon. Those are guys that we've had, here and success with, and the everything. You're used to seeing those guys. They're fan favorites locally. I know you look forward to making them regret being here.
It's like anything. You want them to be good guests. Just don't spill anything on our carpet, and we're good. Just it'll be friendly. It'll be a good competition. It'll be nice to see some of the guys. It's always nice to see the guys before the game and after the game.
Do you ever get used to seeing like the guys that made an impact in other uniforms? Because there's always the guy that we see and I'm like, oh my God, that was our guy then, and now they're wearing the wrong uniforms. What is it? Does that?
No, it doesn't bother me at all, because as a coach, there's only a couple reasons why they're not still with you. Okay, one is you've upgraded. 2 is you couldn't come to a financial agreement, right? Or 3 is there's personal reasons why it didn't work out. It could be they don't like me, I don't like them. It could be they live closer to that place than they do other places. It could be a bunch of things, right? So when someone's gone, um, they're really kind of, you wish them well. They're in my prayers, but they're an afterthought. I worry about our 25 guys. And but it's nice to get a hug before the game and talk, and even after the game, and say some things, and that's always fun. So no worries.
All right. So the next home game that we're looking at here at the MVP Arena is going to be May 27th. That's the Mustangs coming to town. And this is a brand new team. This is Charles Gunnings is the coach. The biggest name that jumps out to me is Kendrick Ings. Kendrick Ings is on their roster. And, he's a receiver. He's been pretty good in the league. Kendrick Ings, no,
The real little guy.
He's not the biggest. No, you wouldn't put him as a prototypical.
No, he's a good football player. He's a good football player. He's always on our part of our game plan when we play, and he's on the team. No, he's definitely a professional football player that you have to give respect to.
The hardest part about a lot of these, like as you look at these rosters, is knowing that these XFLs and USFLs of the world are out there and these other things happen. Like some of these guys that as a fan or as somebody in the front office who's like, oh, I know that guy, I can market around that guy, they may not be there. Like while you're doing your research, is there ever like how often do you have to go, all right, we'll tear that page up because Prince Shinola is no longer with the Preds, or Lonnie Outlaw left. Like tear it all up, let's start over.
You mean if they leave a team before
the
season?
Because
our scouting report.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, you don't do a scouting report until after the final cuts. That's one. And then two is what you try to do is a personnel scouting report the week of the team you're playing, because then it's not only did the guy get kicked off the team, did the guy get injured, did the guy have a personal reason he had to be excused from the team, he's not going to be there. Did he get beat out by another guy? It's kind of funny because you have to research all 25 on a roster, even though only 21 are playing.
Right.
Because they don't give us the final 21 until about 5 o'clock the night of the game. 2 hours before the game is when I get a copy of who their specialists are, who's on their 21-man roster, and all that. So you have to do your due diligence on all 25.
Right. So you can't add in 3 or 4 more who may not be there, because now you're 28, 30, and it's just wasted effort.
Yeah. Yeah. But preseason, you kind of like, I can go through I would say what I would call the top tier of our league. And I can go through their roster and go, he's starting. I don't know who this guy is. He may be great. Wait, let me watch some film on him. Oh, he's pretty good. He might be someone. This guy's dog shit. This guy's good. This guy's, and then you go through the whole thing and then you figure out. And again, keep in mind, there's a recruiting process that we use in Albany, and it has nothing to do with your proximity to how far you live from the arena.
Right.
Our analytics, our barometer that we use is top level talent. Not only top level talent, but what was their level of competition? Okay. I had actually my agent called me about a guy yesterday, and he said, Coach, let me ask you a question. Could a guy who's 5'9" ever play defensive line in your league? And I said, for us? And he goes, yeah. And I said, no. And he said, but he's 5'9", 280, and he's really fast, and he's really good, and he's really this. And I said, no, because where did he play? He played at a D3 school. And when we talked about it, it was the level of competition, which made him look exceptional. But now you put him against Cornelius Lewis from Florida State, or you put him against Isaiah Hardy from West Virginia, you know, it ain't going to be pretty, right? Yeah. So it goes to pedigree. It goes to setting a barometer of level of competition that they faced. Does it equal what we have? We got, you know, a young linebacker who played at Duke coming in. Think about the level of competition he was, you know, competing at. We have another one another player from Dartmouth. You know, he's playing in the Ivy League, and he's playing against, yes, not only good athletes, but really smart guys. And you have to be a smart guy to go to school there. So, I mean, all those things come into play when we're picking a player. We just don't say, oh, I got a highlight reel from a kid, and you're looking at him. I don't look at him when I get a highlight reel. I look at the guys he's playing against, and 99% of the time, the reason he's putting it as a highlight reel is the guy he's playing against is dog shit.
Right. Run through them like wet tissue paper.
Yeah.
All right. So then we go to June 17th. That's the next home game. It's the Sharks. It's Coach Gibson now with the Sharks. And, you know, Jacksonville's roster is solid. And there's guys that we know locally. Jimmy Goodlow, Marvin Ross are on that roster. But I saw Eddie Brill Jr., the quarterback from FSU. Like, I don't know how he would look at this level. When you hear a name like that, is that somebody that, because it's FSU and everything like that, you go, okay, let's break it down.
Did you break down his stats?
I did not.
We're okay.
All right, good.
But my point is this: Coach Gibson is always going to put a competitive football team on the field, just like Coach Fuller is. Okay, they're both going to put competitive football teams on there. If you were to ask me my predictions for this year, 110%, I would say us is NAL champions this year. I would say in second place is going to be Jacksonville, and third place is going to be Carolina, and then in fourth place. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Orlando Predators.
Oh, look at that. Mr. Herky Walls with the big jump.
Well, he's got to do it, but I think they're just the kind of team that other teams are going to overlook. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But realistically, I probably should have said San Antonio at 4. And I love Fred, but I love Herky more. So.
And that factors in because I saw the way you guys kind of like bonded over some of the theories and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I want Nate and John down there to have a year. They're so passionate about what they do, and boy, I'd sure love to see them win some stuff this year.
Well, I mean, I will point out that if this prediction were to come true, it will be our job to disappoint those gentlemen in the first round of the playoffs.
Which is fine, because at that point, I think right now the biggest success Orlando could have after the year they had last year is to make the playoffs. If they made the playoffs, Herky's got the program on the right trajectory, right? If they don't make the playoffs, then everything they did meant nothing. And I mean that because I'm not, look, oh, we just missed the playoffs by 1 game. Oh, we just, we got better than we were last year. Would they win 2 last year?
Orlando? Was it even? I don't remember. I'm picturing your board.
Didn't they end up in last place though?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'm saying is if your goal is only to not be in last place, then shame on you. And I know that's not his goal. I know that's not the organization's goal. I know that the organizational goal is, hey, look, in a perfect world, out of people I love the most, it would be us in Orlando in the championship. And then we beat the shit out of them, and life would be great, But it would still be, in a perfect world, I would love to see that happen because of our relationship with Nate and John, and my relationship with Herky and Nate and them. So, yeah, I would love to see them be competitive this year. And I tell these coaches this all the time. We played somebody, pick up the phone and call me, man. Look, go to week 1. What was week 1 again? Week 1, we're sitting at home, right?
Yep.
We're sitting at home. and we really can't say anything about it. Let's go to like week 4. Okay. Week 4, we've got the Warbirds on Saturday, right? But let's say the Predators are playing the Cobras, and Herky calls me up on Saturday night and says, "Hey, can you tell me anything about Coach Fuller that I need to know before I go into this game, or anything I should know about the Cobras going into this game?" Yeah, I'll tell you. Why wouldn't I tell you?
Unless they're ahead of us somehow, and then no.
No, it doesn't matter. It's you share stuff. When I called the coach down at the Warbirds yesterday and introduced myself, I offered him anything he needed to be successful. I said, "Hey, do you have, he said, "Well, I was going to reach out." And I said, "Well, do you have all the contact lists?" "No, I haven't gotten it yet." Boom, send him a contact list. "Oh, do you're going to get Maddie from VidSwap, and here's what you do." And, not that he didn't know stuff. It's just anything I could share with him, I was going to share with him because I want him to be successful. There's only 7 of us. Why shouldn't we be like that? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to game day, and it's a player's game. So,
Right. Well, and like you said, the league should basically work together, every day except for game day, because that's the only way the league is gonna get stronger, and we all get better.
100%. Okay, go ahead and finish your schedule.
So July 1st, we got the Mustangs coming to town again. We've already spoken about that crew, but we finished the regular season, our home schedule, July 22nd. It is the Cobras coming to town. They had a lot of regular season success that they liked to talk about on MVP Arena floor on Transfinder Field. That changed a little bit in the postseason. Probably the most defensively dominant performance in arena football I think I've ever seen, maybe ever, in that one. So you got Coach Fuller coming to town. Everybody knows Kenny Veal. He was on the squad last year. The guy I wanted to ask you about, Coach, is the quarterback that's on the roster right now, Charles McCollum. I know he's got great film out there. He's had success in the past, but he's suffered some pretty nasty injuries, I believe, as well. When you see a guy like that on a roster like that, where does that put you mentally, as far as like, I'm preparing more for the wide receivers, or it's still Zach Brown trying to bang up the middle?
Oh, McCollum's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. We'll have a plan in place when we play them. But again, okay, and this is it gets old saying it, but it's true. Okay, unless you've been successful against us, and I'm not talking about winning a game in May or April. I'm talking about unless you've been successful against us when it counts in a big game, you don't know how to beat us yet. And we know how to win in situations. So I think that we talk about the Empire way, and the Empire way is the expectation is when we take the field, we know we're going to beat you, and their expectation is they hope they can beat us. Okay. And we've known teams like this throughout our careers, high school, college, watching college games, you mean Alabama doesn't get on the field knowing they're going to win, right? That, Michigan still hasn't figured it out yet, right? They're still kind of there. They're like 95% there, but they still haven't figured out that
how to get
an automatic win, right?
Right.
But you watch certain teams and the way they play. You watch the way Georgia plays, right? They have no expectation other than this will win. We're going to go in and win. Now, how we perform in our win will determine how we evaluate our performance. Not we'll evaluate our performance after the game and see how we did. No, after we win, we'll evaluate our performance and find ways we can get better. And that's what great teams do. And I think we're a great team. I think we're a great organization from the top down. I think until they figure out that it's not about, piecemealing little things together to, we're going to spend more money this year. God, I hope so. I hope other teams spend more money this year. Well, we're going to house better this year. God, I hope you house your guys better because I've heard horror stories. Okay. We're going to feed our guys better. Great. Quit talking about it. Just friggin' do it. Right? I mean, I want that for these kids, whether they're on my team or another team. Okay. And when everyone gets on the same page and realizes that you go into these games, if you've done everything, and I'm not talking about parts of everything, I'm talking about all of everything. Parts of everything is just saying it. We're going to be great next year because we got 3 guys that we signed from last year off of great teams and this and that. Every player that we have on our team this year, outside of our rookies, all of our veterans, right? We've cultivated as an organization. We've bled together, won together, sweated together. Hell, we even lost together. Everything we've done, we've cultivated into our formula. Show me one other team that has the same amount of returning veterans. And I'm not talking about dog shit players that you're bringing back because they live 5 blocks from the arena and you don't have to house them or feed them. I'm talking about great players. Show me one organization that brought in 13, 14 great players from all over the United States that want to come to upstate New York and play football for one reason only, unilaterally. And that's to win a championship. And they know this is the best opportunity for them to get a ring.
There it is. All that's left is to, there was that time. There was 2 reasons you played in Albany. One was to win the ring. The other was because you had 9,000 to 10,000 insane people rocking a big old concrete arena, MVP arena right there in front of TransFinder Field. So that's the part that we need back. And that's 518-714-2200, 518-714-2200. Season tickets and game 1 tickets are available now. You can get both of those, or, do it how you're going to do it. Come see this because it's different. It's just different when it's right. I know we got the Shark Tank and this and that, and they're all the jungle. None of them hold a candle to MVP Arena when it's packed. None of them.
No, we're big enough to be intimidating, our arena, but we're small enough to look absolutely packed with 10,000 people.
And there's nowhere to go for the sound to go but down on the field.
Right. And what's interesting too, Jeff, is yesterday I was doing some work in my office and I pulled up, and I was doing it in a hurry, and I pulled up, it said Albany Empire attendance, and I just hit the button and I looked at it real quick, and it said 9,000, average 9,564 people, and it's a total attendance 100,000 plus, right? And I looked at it and I go, who the hell is that? And it was just 36 months ago that it was like that.
2019. Yep.
And I said, one is what happened. Okay. And I get it. Year 1, trust factor, COVID. We're not sure you're going to be around. You guys did us dirty, even though it wasn't us. Right. You guys did us dirty, blah, 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 this and that. Certain vendors didn't get something. Certain sponsors didn't get what they were promised. Again, not us. We came in, we honored every commitment, paid every bill, did everything the way we were supposed to do it, right? So I get first year. Second year, especially after we won the regular season again, I was disappointed in the playoff number. I was disappointed in the championship number. Okay. Only because of how much hard work went into getting that and how much expense was laid out by Mike getting to that point, and just the total effort of the organization. So this year, if we come in and there's only 2,500 or 3,000 people in the arena, just imagine how disappointing that would be to us as the football side of our business. And then, if you really want to be part of history, you want to be the guy at the 7th game of the World Series. You want to be the guy at the last game Tom Brady plays in or whatever. That's what this season is. This is historic. I don't know if people truly grasp the fact that this is historic in the sense that no one has ever done a three-peat in the National Arena League, and you'll be setting this team up as a true dynasty. And it would just be so very important to be a part of. I'd hate to be the guy that says, nah, I'll just stay home and watch it on YouTube, you know?
Right. No, and you said it. It's going to be historic, and I'm excited this year because look, let's call it as it is. There was a chance I wasn't going to be here for it. Everything worked out perfectly for me. I'm here. I get to be here for it. So I'm thrilled. If you guys knew the hoops I jumped through to be here for it, grabbing a seat is not that difficult, my friends. 518-714-2200. Brendan will grab your phone and tell you everything you need to know. Season tickets, details, home opener, banner drop, all of it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Before we go, did we have any questions today? Anything come up?
A lot of the stuff is just the guys. Everybody's excited. You know, a lot of high, and you know, everybody's just. I guess it's kind of a question. Carrie said I look sleepy today. Thanks, Carrie. I love you too.
You have the weirdest fans.
Well, and then Lisa was nice enough to say she's happy I'm back. If you're worried about the way my appearance is, you're gonna be disappointed 9 times out of 10. So just go with the voice and the humor. That's what matters. Let's go with what we're good at. Those are my strengths. All right, let's do that. Coach, excited. It's almost like one of those things where, I mean, some of these people won't understand it. You and I we've been around the sun a couple more times. It never felt like Christmas season until like the big toy catalog starts showing up at the house. And then you can go through and circle what you wanted and all those things. The schedule officially being out is like that toy catalog coming to the house. Like I now feel the season is approaching.
I do everything in my head based on to-do lists and calendar days, right? So one of the things I did was I looked at, this was last night, and I said, hey, I wonder when Sunday, okay, I'll just check from Sunday to the day I'm going to be in Albany. How long, or leave for Albany? How long is that going to be? 33 days from Sunday. I'll be in town, right?
TikTok.
So when you start putting in that perspective, then it's all of a sudden, did I get this done? Did I get that done? Have I done everything I can do here before I leave to do that? I know, like I said, we're on about our second or third quarterback Zoom call already. We're doing positional Zoom calls next week. We had our team Zoom call, which was a lot of fun. I know you guys were on there. We got to talk about our expectations for the young guys so they understand what's coming in. Just all those things. So we're doing everything we know how to do as a championship organization and what we have to do to be successful. I see Melvin put up there 14-0.
14. Yeah, you broke him. You broke him. Now he's just like you.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that they can't take. I always say no one can take anything away from you if you score touchdowns, and you score a lot of them. Even if they take a couple away, you'll still win, right? And then if you score touchdowns, you get your stops. But more importantly, if we're playing teams and we're 6-0, then we're 9-0, then we go into their place and we're 11-0. And we understand every time someone plays us, and this is going to sound super egotistical, and this is for Casey, because he gets mad when I do this.
They ain't playing us no more.
Right. But the one thing I will say is then we are every team Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So when we go in, and you mean to tell me, like, when we play, who's our first away game? Is it Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we go to Carolina, it's no different than the biggest game of the year, even though it's the third game of the year, because what we bring in. And we'll hear in the crowd, yeah, well, we beat you 3 times, and we went, and we're going to hear all that. And then I'm just going to take my ring and just go, what? I can't hear you,
We've been posting, Empire Builder plays, like these big plays over the course of the season, and
I saw
post
that.
them up. And somebody decided to put, it was from a Carolina game. Somebody put, "Do you remember how that game ended?" And it was one of the few times that I jumped on the Facebook account and answered. And I answered as the team, and I said, "No, but we remember exactly how the season ended." And nobody really wanted to have that conversation.
No, I saw that post and it just completely stopped. I mean, it's the equivalent of if there's a group of guys my age and we're sitting in a room and we start talking football, and then all of a sudden we start talking about when we played, and by the time the conversation gets done, we've all lied and said how great we were. But you talk about the good things, and you talk about this, you talk about that, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself, talking with the old timers and how it was and this and that. And then all of a sudden a Darius Prince walks in and you realize, no, that's what a football player is supposed to be like. Right. So when you do those things, it's fun to count your wins. But remember what I said, share your success, but own your failures. Right. So you have to own the fact that what happened at the end of last year, if you're on the other side of it, and we get to share our success. And if you don't like it, what do I always say? Just beat us when it matters. Okay. And if you do that, I'll be the first one to congratulate you. And, and you can do all the talking you want to do, and believe me, I know I'm teeing up guys to, what do you call it? Billboard?
Bulletin board
material and all that. Yeah. But you know what? If that's how you got to motivate your team is based on what I say, you ain't gonna win anything.
Got 14 chances to beat us in 2023. The season is presented by TransFinder, right there, TransFinder Field at the MVP Arena. Schedule's out. You can find it. All of our social media, the Albany Empire, NAL, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere here, our websites, albanyempirenal.com, and get your tickets. And as T.O. once said, get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, and we have a thing that we talked about, winning January, right? And I talked to Matt yesterday, and I will tell you, we're not winning January. We're not. We're not where we want to be, right? And now, the line has been, well, we didn't know what days, and we didn't know, what times, and we didn't know. Okay, now. So, look, it's Friday. It's like 1:00 in the afternoon. Office will be going until later this afternoon. Let's do a big search. Let's blow up Matt's phones. Let's blow them up. Let's just blow them up. And
Brendan's over there right now. And I love Brendan, but nothing's better than when his phone's ringing off the hook. He's very good at it, but there's that moment when it's all over and he's just like, that's what I want to see today. I want to see a winded Brendan by the end of the day.
Let's win January, fans. Come on, let's win January. You win January, February, and March, and I promise you I'll win you August.
Love it. Okay. Love it. All right, my brother. Well, I'm gonna go over and make sure Brendan doesn't need help with the phones, and we'll get this thing rolling. Keep it moving.
Come on, blow them up, everybody. Appreciate you, and God bless y'all. And again, you are a huge part of this organization. We want to share in our success together, and the only way we can do that is if you're at our party every Saturday or Sunday. So we want you there, okay? And do what you can. Blow up the phones. Get Brendan crazy today.
I love it. All right, Coach.
Empire.
Go Empire. I love it. Talk to you later, Coach.
Thank you, buddy.